So I'm going to be joined today by the lovely Clare Winton from Grow Wild Outdoorwear, which is outdoor clothing for pregnant women and early motherhood. She's going to talk about her experiences getting her brand off the ground so far, and also what it's been like, the two of us working together. So Clare, let's see if I can find you to bring you in. There she is. Thank you. I know this is your first time to go live, so I'm going to not ask you any tricky questions. Yeah. But we've been working together for a few months now, and I just wanted to talk a bit about how you came to end up working with me in the British Brand Accelerator and what your experiences were with manufacturing overseas versus now manufacturing in the UK. So do you want to start off by telling everyone what stage you were at with getting your brand made?
I spent 2 years in development at this point, and a long way down the path, multiple rounds of samples, working with this design consultancy agency, manufacturing in China, and so we got really close to that actual kind of it's time to go, it's time to pay the big money. It was a very scary few weeks, to be honest, because I was at the point where I knew this wasn't the right path for me. This wasn't going to work, but I didn't know where to go next. So I'd spent, again, several fruitless weeks searching on Google, trying to find manufacturers close to home. And then, then I discovered Make It British.
And I think when we first spoke, when you just talked about you're about to push the button on some big, like a scary amount of money, the investment you were about to make in the stock from this overseas manufacturer, it was serious, no small sum. As I recall, it was several tens of thousands of pounds. Yeah. For a startup, which no startup has got that sort of budget like that, where's your money left to do marketing or anything if you've spent it all on that stock? So how have you found it then so far? Because I've introduced you to some UK manufacturers. So what has been the big difference for you from working through a third party, managing production out in China?
I just sit and I go, why isn't everyone doing this? This is, I mean, I like it done right, a job. I like to be in control and aware and to be informed. And that is just none of that I was getting. I mean, to be fair, the quality of the products I was getting from China was fantastic. No complaints there. But the communications and the delays and just the not knowing, you could sit there and you go, well, I have no idea when this sample is due to turn up because I'm going through so many different sets of people and there's nothing I can even chase or follow up with very easily. And now being able to, I mean, the turnaround times here, I just couldn't believe it when you're saying, oh, well, yeah, and the minimum order quantities. What do you mean I can make 10 items if I want to? And I mean, like I say, last week, the pattern cutter completed the patterns for my maternity leggings. She got them shipped to my manufacturer. The next day, they put together a sample for me. The next morning, I drove down to see them. We spent 2 hours in the meeting together, making all the adjustments. Yesterday, I shipped off the amendments to the pattern cutter. She's going to get them today. She's going to turn it around by the end of this week, and we'll have another sample done. And I just still can't get over it. But it is being able to have that face-to-face communication is just unbelievably valuable. The progress you can make in 2 hours, being able to literally hold something up and point at something and have that discussion. You can solve problems that you never really, you didn't know existed because people can come up with suggestions there and then.
Your background was not in anything to do with textiles or clothing or anything like that, though you do like work in quality control, so you know good quality when you see it, but you have taken to it like a duck to water, if I might say, and you've been visiting a lot of factories. I mean, that's the other thing I always tell everyone is if you're making in the UK, even if you live in West Wales, so it's not like you live in London or Birmingham or anywhere, and you've been nipping over to the Midlands to visit these places.
I mean, this is the thing with working overseas is it's very difficult to build any form of relationship when you're doing it by email or anything else, but to be able to go and meet people in person. And I think it's more than one British manufacturer or supplier has said to me, well, you know, we might not be able to compete on price, for example, with say the Chinese markets, but we make it our US customer service, whether that means quick turnaround times or just trying to really help out and being very flexible. I mean, I'm not a small brand, I don't exist yet. and you know, it's just been, everyone's very helpful. You know, even if I've had people where they can't necessarily help me out, they've been able to offer suggestions for maybe somebody else they know down the road that might be able to, or, you know, it's just been, people are lovely.
In fact, we've got a question here. Someone has asked, how do you stay motivated? Because like you said already, 2 years in the kind of Chinese factory, in the dark ages, how have you managed to stay positive when you've had all these challenges?
I'm literally obsessed with Grow Wild. This has been all I've thought about for 3 years. I'm determined, but there have been so many challenges. It has been difficult at times to stay, like say, positive, or to not feel like, oh my goodness, how am I going to solve this problem? And to some extent, that's come with practice. And it really helps to try and surround yourself with kind of supportive people. Like I say, you know, this is the thing with working with Make It British on the Accelerator program, is you've got the little network of people that you're working with, they're facing the same things with you, and then you've got you guys to hold our hands when we need it. But I mean, obviously before that I was doing it all on my own, and it's really hard when you've signed up with, say, like a design consultancy agency, thinking they're the experts, because like I said, I came into this industry totally sideways, you know, biological research background, and that was the point I went, oh great, I've got someone who can effectively hold my hand and help me and guide me and steer me. And it just didn't really pan out like that. And it's really hard then when you are finding that actually the people you thought were going to be kind of acting as a bit of a mentor support are actually the ones causing the challenges, and that it is really hard. And I always think, well, don't think about anything, any decisions, anything you've got to do after like 9 o'clock at night, just forget it. Just, you're tired, your mindset is going to be negative, go to bed, have some chocolate, start again the next day, you know. But I mean, and again, I did struggle with fear, again, when you're going forward into something totally unknown.
You raised a really good point there as well about being amongst other businesses that are small businesses making in the UK that are either pre-launch or have already, you know, established their businesses, but yet so many of the challenges are the same. And also in terms of collaborations, I know you've not yet launched, but you're already very actively kind of thinking about the marketing.
It kind of started quite organically, the whole like networking and marketing and meeting people. I mean, I just like talking, so, you know, talk to everyone. But I joined like loads of Facebook groups that are kind of in the relevant thing, you know, other outdoorsy women, outdoorsy mothers, and sort of just started engaging on there. And to some extent, I was using that as customer research, but I've built kind of relationships there. I'm now a brand collaborator with another Facebook group called Outdoor Mums. They're both CICs. So again, I'm sort of got a bit of a blogging platform on their website now, and sort of going to be, you know, mutual supportive relationships is what I'm hoping. So it's just kind of finding people and really starting to build that momentum. It's slow, but it's getting there. Yeah, it's
yeah, and also you're putting everything in place ready for your launch. But actually, I mean, how long have you been working with us in the Accelerator compared to the fact that you spent 2 years working with a production team to manage everything for you? You were paying a considerable sum to manage that was a 2-year process. Also should point out that you practically had to start again, unfortunately, haven't you?
Yeah, you know, I had tech packs, they still needed some work, and I had the actual prototypes to come away with, but yeah, none of the patents, they all stayed in China, and had to resource fabrics and all of the raw materials from scratch again, because everything was managed by the consultancy agency. And while on the, you know, the beginning you think, oh, that's great because I don't know anything, so somebody else who does know it. Well, then it does mean when if you do end that relationship and you move on, you are beginning from scratch, and you haven't gained any of the knowledge, because that was the other thing, is, you know, trying to get information was a little bit like blood out of a stone. Nobody wanted to commit to anything, but then that's very difficult when you're going, but I need to have some information in order to make decisions that are informed. going forwards. And although, yes, you can't hold people to things in this, particularly the way things changed massively over the last couple of years, you know, raw materials costs went up, shipping went mental. But at the same time, you know, if somebody's positioning themselves as an expert in the industry, I expected to have more insight and education and as a part of that, and I didn't really get that. I felt, whereas now working with Make It British, I have learned so much.
Well, we want to empower you as well to have those skills to be able to manage your own factory relationships or your own business production, marketing, sales yourself, or at least know how it all works, so that if you do then take on someone to do any part of that business, you know what it is they're doing. So how much then, and because I know you're really hot on the numbers, how much do you think you'll spend for your original launch on products versus how much?
Well, I think it's £7,000 my total launch stock. I mean, probably going to be more like 8 to actually get launched, including sort of some of the development costs still to go into. But yeah, that's a 3, 4.5, 3.5, or maybe for the items that I am manufacturing. And then because I'm changed my business model slightly, and I will now be stocking some of the other brands, so like merino wool baby clothes. There's a lady, I think she's joined actually, merino.baby. Yeah, she's just been making me those beautiful merino wool baby clothes, the colours I've selected, and they're actually on their way to me this week. So, you know, I've got a few things coming in. So I've got, you know, probably 50% of the cost is going to stocking other products, and 50% is then my own little range that I'm manufacturing to start with. So yeah, totally different scale.
You've spread your risk a little bit. And what other big costs would you say that you've kind of had to outlay in terms of kind of marketing or kind of pre-launch? And where have you, because you're very good at bootstrapping.
Honestly, Kate, since meeting you, my bootstrapping ability has, like, it's a whole different mindset, I think, because when you are, particularly if you're coming from a different industry and it's the first time you've launched a brand, it's very easy to, I don't say be taken in by, but be persuaded that you need to spend vast amounts on marketing this. So I had planned, I'm going to spend thousands of pounds on a marketing agency to run Google ads, social media ads, because I don't know how to do any of that. I'll spend, you know, thousands of pounds on getting a website built professionally for me. You know, huge quantities of money there. And actually, like, I think since you're kind of going, there's a lot you can do yourself. Give it a go. And it has been like that. So, you know, really at the moment, I have no plans for paid advertising at the moment. I mean, it's something I'm gonna, we'll see how that goes, but I'm not thinking about that in terms of launch. I'm been starting to try and, building that email list. You're always very hot on that. I don't like social media. Yep. I don't do consistency. I'm a weak grab. So, you know, that's something I was going to outsource, and basically I'm kind of pressing pause on it. So I'll see how things go, rather than going, oh my gosh, I better pay this chunk of money up front. My attitude has changed to, well, try it and see, and actually hold the money tight until you really think, no, I do. So for example, I realized the amount of time I have. I outsourced some copywriting. I found that she was actually a local woman with a baby who did some modeling for me, and I found out she was a copywriter. So she has done SEO optimized blog posts, but we were able to talk through that, and she's taken those, she's written her blog post, and then I'm going to be able to take chunks of that out for my email marketing, for my social marketing. So it's making the money I do spend work really, really hard. And like I say, now I'm building my own website and Shopify, and I'm actually loving it. It's really fun.
One thing you have invested in though is really good photography, isn't it?
Again, this was somebody else I met through Facebook on the groups, and she found out what I was doing, and so we started communicating. And so she, I think, essentially did me quite a reasonable rate, but she came down from Derbyshire for a day, and I got some local models in, and then we went down. We did a little bit around the farm and made a picnic in the garden, and then we went down to the local beach, and we were so lucky because it's been horrendous weather the days either side, and we had this like half-an-hour window of beautiful, perfect golden evening light, and it was like, quick, pose! But so that did work really well. So I would, photography 100%. Because it does, it's the face of your brand, it's how you present yourself. And I've seen so many brands that, you know, while the products might be nice, if the photography and the website don't make them look nice, you just aren't going to buy them. You are not going to press that go and hand over your money. So it is really important to get something that shows your quality of what you're producing, because otherwise it's a bit of a waste, which is sad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Claire, I'm really excited about your launch. Like I say, I've really enjoyed working with you, and I can't wait to see your products hit the shelf. So if anyone's watching this and they have got a baby on the way, or a small child, or they know someone that has, then keep an eye out for Grow Wild Outdoorwear. Your website is it's already got a holding page.
Please join my mailing list. Yeah, www.growwildoutdoorwear.com.
Amazing. Claire, I've so enjoyed working with you, and thank you so much for coming onto the live, because I know it was your first time.
No problem.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Kate.
We'll have to keep everyone posted with how you get on.
Bye.